Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to Monster Legends. Welcome to a monster analysis on the brand new Magic Mythic monster, Knightingale. Now this is going to be a two-part episode. The first part is going to be the analysis, so if you're watching this video in the future, this part will pertain to you. If you're watching the second part though, the second part is going to be how to actually get this monster. So if you're watching this video in the future, this part unfortunately will not pertain to you because you are not going to be able to get the monster the same way I'm going to explain during the second half of this video. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. New monster, Knightingale. Knightingale had always wanted to be a superhero, instill fear in villains and draw admiration from other heroes. She had the talent and the will, but lacked just one thing, a signature superpower. So she thought, I just need a little push, a little touch of magic to get me there. I'll do anything to become a superhero. I feel that's how like all the supervillains start. Malaire, the supervillain big boss, found out how badly she wanted it and decided to use this to his advantage. I can provide the glory you are looking for. Everyone will love you. All you need to do is come to my hideout with me, said Malaire. The offer was too attractive, so Knightingale followed Malaire to his hideout. He had a superhero suit tailored for her, and she was dressed for success. He showed her a little gemstone in the shape of a tear. The minute I place this in the middle of your mask, you'll be a superhero. Oh, I see the gemstone. What he didn't tell her is that because he was the one to activate the amber gemstone, its magic would obey his wishes. On Nightingale's, her signature superpowers, lethal slashes, and that's the story of how Malaire created his first mythic supervillain. You should have never trusted him, Nightingale. Oh man, why couldn't this be a story of her getting vengeance? Or maybe it is. No, because it says superheroes. Nightingale is a dark attacker with extra churners. Oh right, I forget there is no actual supervillain and superhero book. Nightingale is a dark attacker with dark extra turns. With the right combo, she can attack up to 4 times in a row, dealing damage, applying bleed to an enemy, nightmares to all enemies, and even losing her negative status effects and gaining stamina regen. Nightingale has an evolving trait. At rank 0, she's hardened. At rank 1, she becomes immune to bleed. And at rank 3, she has damage boost at the start of every battle. And so this is how this monster came to be. She was tricked by Malaire. All she ever wanted to do was be this incredible superhero, but now she's under the control of the evil mastermind Malaire. So as always, love the Monster Legends lore, really hoping that something gets done with the lore in the game. So with that being said, here is Knightingale, and you can actually see her in the game a lot better when you see her with the color. She's such a vibrant monster. I love the monster design. And with that said, speaking about the monster design, when I first saw this monster, I mentioned that I thought this monster was going to be super squishy, and it turns out she is. Her life stat is 48,256. Of all the mythic monsters, this is by far the lowest. Prior to this monster, the lowest life stat was Rara with a life stat of 50,668. This monster does not even break the 50k mark. So this is by far the lowest life stat we've seen on a mythic monster. Her power stat, on the other hand, 5896. This is the second highest stat in the whole entire game of power stats. So that's a really good power stat. It's actually tied with Unspeakable and Cawthor. Currently, the only other mythic monster that has a higher power stat would be Arumel with his 5948. So incredible power stats. And again, remember what we read in the description. She can attack up to 4 times. So she's going to be using that power stat to her advantage. In terms of speed stat, she has 4752. This isn't really the highest. It's towards the bottom. It's actually also tied with Rara. So both of the squishy monsters have the same speed stats. And with that being said, with her trait we talked about, Hardened, I think this is just useful to have, considering now we're getting more Deny monsters, more Control mythic monsters, considering there's a lot of dots in the game. It's nice to have some sort of like umbrella immunity to everything. We have immunity at rank 1, bleed immunity. I'm not a big fan of that. I mean, it helps in the sense that if you get hit with bleeding, at least you know your damage output won't be reduced by 20%. So I don't know, I'm not a big fan of it because I feel like there's better things you could be immune to. I would have maybe liked to see like a bleed and poison immunity, or maybe like a damage reduction immunity. I don't know, just to capitalize on her strength or her attack, but that's fine. At rank 3, true to her nature, she gets a self boost, so thus making her even stronger. Yes, I mentioned Arumel has a stronger power stat, but Arumel does not start the game off with a self damage boost. So this monster, at the start of every battle, her attacks deal 50% more damage, and I believe it'll probably last for 3 turns. So that's pretty powerful. In terms of relics, this is interesting. She can hold the double sword relic. Now, if I remember correctly, in the right here, yeah, nightmares to all enemies. So with this monster, you're gonna potentially be able to run double Niscent sword, fully maxed out, and potentially drain all of the enemy stamina, even on mythic monsters who have a lot more stamina than legendary monsters. So the double sword is true to an attacker. Right now, unfortunately, the drawback here is I was really thinking she might have been able to hold a mask and a sword, and I'm like, okay, with the mask, you can maybe put on a mask that gives her extra life, you can put on a life that can recover her life. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So she is a pure attacker, super squishy, can't hold any armor, can't hold any mask to give her more life, but she can go straight for the damage output. You can put a Jakugan sword, cane sword, double stamina drain. It's like, it's awesome. It's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. So with that being said, let's see. Her tier 1 skill, Your Worst Nightmare, there is that AoE Nightmare attack. So 25 damage, low dark damage. And like I said, this honestly works the best with a Niscent Sword. Niscent Sword, stamina drain everyone. And once there's no more Megaton monsters in the game and no more dodge area monsters in the game, your Worst Nightmare is literally going to be Mythic's Worst Nightmares. I'm also thinking, just because of this skill right here and the ability to run double Niscent Sword, there is an argument for running 6 team speed on your allies and running Nightingale with 3 speed. Just activate your Rune Guard and you should have the advantage over other monsters, over enemy mythic monsters, even if they were faster than you to begin with. And then you can just stamina drain everyone with Your Worst Nightmare. Body Acceleration removes all negative effects from itself, applies stamina regen. It's a self skill. This is nice because you remove negative effects. It would have been nice if this was an extra turner. If this was your extra turn skill, so you can like cleanse your blind, your daze, your ignite, whatever you had on you. You get yourself a stamina regen, so it's almost like the skill is a net 0 because, well, depending how much, yeah, because it only costs 26 stamina, and then you could have attacked. That would have been nice. However, it's just a self skill. Considering this monster focuses on a lot of extra turn, I don't think this is a skill you're going to be really needing to run. Moving on to tier 2, Dream with Freddy. Deals heavy dark damage to an enemy, applies nightmares. Ooh, there we have a spammable 50 damage skill. Well, not fully spammable because it does cost a whopping 49 stamina. We've seen other mythic monsters that have like a 45 or 50 damage attack that doesn't require any stamina. But nonetheless, it's like I've been mentioning this before. It's nice to have a skill that you can utilize even when hit with CDA. So once again, I always pick on Gaidigo. If Nightingale and Gaidigo fight against each other, Gaidigo is going to be able to activate your cooldowns. You're going to be able to use Dream with Freddy and have that dark elemental advantage over Gaidigo. So you win. Although of course you can still do total damage reduction. But hey, you got other skills in your arsenal too, like the extra turners. We have X Scratch, deals moderate dark damage to all enemies, 30 damage, 3 turn cooldown. Okay, I think I'd prefer to go with the Nightmares, because at least Nightmares, it's a dot, and it also drains like what, 10% of stamina, or 5% of stamina. Let's keep going. Twilight Wings, deals moderate special damage to an enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself, 35 damage, special base attack, 3 turn cooldown, 33 stamina. Okay, that's our first extra turn skill. And Cutting Feather, deals low special damage to an enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself. Oh, nice. This one only has a 1 turn cooldown. So 20 damage, 1 turn cooldown, 34 stamina cost. Okay, so I'm only seeing 2 extra turn skills. And if I remember correctly, over here it said she can attack up to 4 times in a row. So I think we're missing the other extra turn, and it might be the default skill that has an extra turn. Which is weird because, are we going to see a 0 cooldown extra turn? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out once we actually get this monster. So yeah, because right now it's only tier 3 that has the extra turns. I'm not seeing extra turn anywhere else. So right now, if I was to analyze the monster just based on what I see, I mean, the synergy is great, right? Cutting Feather, you can attack someone and then go on and do like Dream with Freddy. You know what her drawback is? It's her inability to recover stamina on her own. Because being able to hold double swords, currently no sword can recover your stamina. So even though you do have your extra turn skills, you are going to reach a point where you're going to have to rely on your allies to give you stamina regen to recover your stamina. Maybe use one of your allies as relics to recover your stamina. But yeah, if this monster gets a turn in, she might exhaust all of her stamina doing her 4 attacks, assuming she has another extra turn skill for the default skills, and then that's that. But yeah, just analyzing the monster right now, I mean, she's good in the sense that if you have an enemy Megaton monster right now in the game, I mean, all attackers, all mythic attackers right now, you basically blast them with the AoE and they're dead. The cool thing about this monster, I would say, is that yes, it's so easy to kill a Megaton monster when you have a ranked up mythic versus a Megaton monster, but assuming you get Nightingale at level 100, because she's going to be able to do Cutting Feather, Twilight Wings, and then blast the enemy Megaton monster, a level 100 Nightingale shouldn't have any problem killing like a 130 Megaton monster, even with runes, just because she gets those extra 2 attacks in, potentially 3 attacks in. So that's an advantage. Once it's mythic on mythics, I mean, the advantage here is you get to pick one mythic monster and just attack them non-stop. Just bam, 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 bam. And right now, as the time recording this video, the only mythic monster that has anticipation is Misirus. And Misirus can't really do much with his anticipation. So, for example, you could start the game off, you could do Twilight Wings on whoever you need to attack. The best Misirus can do is maybe heal the whole team, maybe attack you with Dark Paradox. So he can't really do much. So then you attack whoever you need to, and then you blast everyone. But again, I think the worst Nightmare Nishin Sword mechanic is probably one of the better plays with this monster. So she's interesting because she's like the Voltic of Mythics, at least right now. And oh, I didn't even talk about her ultimate. Moon Jump deals heavy physical damage to all enemies. Oh, that's interesting. Heavy physical damage. And it's an AoE stun, so everyone will get immobilized. So yeah, just going back to her damage outputs, I think if you can get this monster at rank 3, that self damage boost plus her AoE, I mean, that's awesome. That's gonna work to your advantage. And she's just an extra turner, so like all extra turners, you have to watch out for anticipation. If you can partner her up with, like, honestly, Elvira and like Centurion that starts the game off with evasion, and then Megaton is attracted towards you, then Nightingale is free to attack. Again, you gotta work on the stamina. So I think it's a good monster. I think you have to see how effective she's gonna be though in the game. Currently, as the time recording this video, when we're playing with legendary monsters, and every single base, you see a Hornet, you see a Ragnarök, you see monsters that have mostly Ragnarök and Hornet. You see a lot of that anticipation. You see Misirus a lot. You see still a lot of Megaton monsters, Centurion, Izel. I'm not entirely sure how effective she'll be, so it's going to be interesting to try her out. I mean, I fought against Rara bases, and those have been pretty tough. If I don't have anticipation, Rara kicks my butt, so I imagine Nightingale will be the same. So overall, I am a fan of this monster. I am curious to actually try her out in the game and seeing how effective she is against the current meta. And I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this brand new magic mythic monster? And by the way, for those of you wondering, this is Nishin Sword. After damaging with a skill, if target has nightmares, it deals some amount of dark damage and then removes stamina. This is a Nishin Sword at level 24. It drains 100 points of stamina. I think at level 40, it's like 200 something. So obviously, you're going to be able to remove all of the mythic monsters, and it activates twice, right? It activates twice. See, it has 2 uses. Moving on, and you can hold 2 of them. Solaris' Sword is another option right now where it deals light damage. You also have Laser Beam Sword. This one deals magic damage and increases your power by another whopping 5,000 points. Ridiculous. Cane Sword, after damaging with a skill, if target's life is below 50%, you deal special damage. And after damaging with a skill, if your own life is below 50%, you can heal. So this is, Cane Sword is what you're going to utilize since you're so squishy, until we get a sword that recovers your stamina after you attack. And of course, there's the Kugan Sword to deal some physical damage. So those are the sword relics at your disposal right now. And in terms of actually breeding this monster, again, this only pertains to players during the first 1 day and 21 hours of this video's release. So, the Nightingale breeding event. Welcome to a very special breeding event. Use a monster you've earned in the past month of the Legends Pass for a high chance to get a brand new mythic Nightingale. But that's not all. If you don't get Nightingale, you may obtain other 3 amazing legendaries: Octex, Master Scale, or Synapticus. Here's the combination, which includes extra Legend Pass monsters as jokers. So if you combine Tiny and Armor Claw, that's how you get this monster. You could also do Cat UFO and Armor Claw, and you could also do Tiny and Gaidigo. So that is how you get this monster. And I actually got a legendary right here, or I got the 1 day. This is how you know if it's a legendary monster, or potentially a mythic now, because this is the first time a mythic has been breedable, unless we have different breeding times on the mythic. I don't think so. So I bred a monster. I got 1 day, 22 hours. So this is either going to be Nightingale, this might be Synapticus, this might be Octex, this might be the other one. So I'm interested. I can't activate this. I am going to wait the 24 hours before I try, because I still have monsters in my hatchery. So I am not going to waste any time breeding anyone else. Instead, I am going to go for Nightingale. So that is it. And again, this only applies to you if you're watching this video during the time there's an event. If you don't see this event, if there's no event, then please do not combine the 2 monsters together. I just wanted to add that to this video since it pertains to players right now. So with that being said, that's going to be it for the video. Once again, please let me know, what do you think about this monster? Do you think she's going to be able to compete in the current meta of Monster Legends? I welcome any and all thoughts, so please comment below, and remember to subscribe.